Also tonight, a big court ruling for voters in one of the states that passed a law requiring identification at the polls on Election Day. In Pennsylvania, that tough new law is now on hold after a judge said it cannot be enforced on Election Day, which, of course, is just 35 days away now. More on this story from our justice correspondent, Pete Williams.
For months, voters have struggled to meet Pennsylvania's strict new requirement for a government-issued photo ID at the polls, a law Democrats claim the Republicans pushed to suppress the turnout among poor and minority voters. First, the state said voters without a driver's license would need a state-issued ID card. But because that's a secure ID that can be used to board planes, voters needed a birth certificate and 3 forms of identification to get one.
And it took me like days just to get my ID.
Then the state relented and began issuing a new ID, good only for voting, but kept shifting the requirements for it.
This was a hastily drawn law designed to do one thing: disrupt the vote for the presidential election.
Today, the judge concluded that the gap between the photo IDs issued and the estimated need of those who don't yet have them will not be closed in time. So he blocked the law from fully going into effect in Pennsylvania for the general election. Poll workers can ask for a photo ID, but those without one can still cast a ballot. Many voters said they agreed.
If they gave people time, like a year, but it penalizes a lot of people who don't have IDs.
Nationwide, 4 states now have the country's strictest photo ID laws in effect. 7 others ask for photo IDs but allow casting a ballot if a voter can provide other forms of identification. And 5 more states have passed strict voter ID laws that have now been blocked or put on hold, now including Pennsylvania.
Some Democrats were concerned that the voter ID law could make Pennsylvania a closer contest than the polls currently suggest. But now, after today, they don't have to worry as much.
Nationwide, the toughest voter ID laws are facing resistance in court, but more states are likely to require photo IDs of some kind in future elections, Brian.